Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The time is now 7:30, and with that said, I hereby call this May 9th meeting of the City Council to order. Would you all please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And would the clerk please call roll?
McHale. Here. Alderman Bud Matts is absent. O'Brien.
Here.
Veneziano.
Here.
Bessesi.
Here.
Reyes.
Here.
Sunoika.
Here.
With 6 present and 1 absent, there is a quorum which will allow this meeting to move forward. So please be reminded that these proceedings are being recorded for current and future broadcast over the city's cable television channel, as well as other media platforms. Looks like the first order of business we have this evening is to approve minutes from previous meetings. And there are 2 sets of minutes that the council will need to approve. The first set is for the Committee of the Whole meeting on April 18th of this year. Is there a motion to approve this set of minutes?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Sonoyka. Mayor-elect Sonoyka. Is there a second? Thank you, Alderman Bessesi. Is there any request to revise the contents within this set of minutes? Okay. Seeing none, the question is, shall the minutes be approved? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, and the minutes are approved. The second and final set of minutes that need approval are for the City Council meeting, which occurred on April 25th of this year. Is there a motion to approve this set of minutes?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman McHale. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the second. Does anyone have any corrections, additions, or deletions they'd like to request for this set of minutes? Okay, seeing none, the question is, shall the minutes be approved? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. And the ayes have it. And the minutes are approved. Now, I don't have anything to share for my final mayor's report. However, are there any ward reports? Alderman Bessesi.
Yes, I just have one thing. As everyone may know, I was a library liaison, so my last bit of business with that. The library will be closed on May 12th. They're going to be going through safety and emergency response training, so that in case any of the residents that go to the library have some sort of a issue or whatever, that they'll be able to respond and provide the proper first aid and stuff right on the spot. So that's it.
Thank you, Alderman Bessesi. Alderman McHale.
Yes. Good evening. There is a lot of road construction right now in Ward 1. I just wanted to make residents aware that the road construction program happening in the Plum Grove Creek neighborhood, there will be a construction meeting happening tomorrow on Old Mill Lane at 7 o'clock. And if you have any questions or need additional information, to reach out to Public Works or myself.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman McHale. Any other ward reports? Okay. No other ward reports exist this evening. We'll also notice that there are no signatures on the sign-in sheet for public comment, which will allow us to move on to items pending, which are on the agenda. And for that, we'll begin with line item A, which is ordinance number 23-22, to approve an amendment for the fiscal year 2023 budget. This is in for second reading. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman Sonoyka. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Reyes, for the second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Bessesi.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
Sunoika.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, the ordinance is adopted. This brings us to line item B, ordinance number 23-23, which is to approve business licensing for virtual office and co-working tenants and the renewal of business licenses. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman McHale, for the first, and Alderman
Second.
O'Brien for that second. Is there any discussion on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reyes.
Yes.
Sunoika.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Bessesi.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is adopted. Well, concluding the items that were pending and moving on to cover old business, we have to review bills on warrant. And we have a motion to approve payment of bills on warrant for May 9th, 2023. Is there such a motion?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Veneziano, for the first. Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the second. Is there any discussion for the bills on warrant? Okay, seeing none, the question is, should the warrant be approved? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Sunoika?
Yes.
McHale?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Veneziano?
Yes.
Bessesi?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed. The warrant is approved. Well, we now just approve the warrant, and all that remains for the portion of this evening's meeting and agenda here is to make a motion to adjourn. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman McHale. Thank you,
So
Alderman
moved.
O'Brien,
We'll
for
keep
that
going
second.
Side to side.
Yeah.
This, yeah.
That's okay. Well, then, at this time, I'll ask for all those in favor to say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, and this meeting's adjourned at 7:36. Short set of old business. Manager Sabo, do you want to come on up?
Certainly. Make sure this mic is working. Good evening. That is working way too well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here this evening as we celebrate our outgoing elected officials, Alderman John Bessesi and Mayor Joe Gallo, and swear in and welcome our new elected officials to the new City Council, Mayor-elect Sunoika, as well as Michael Kohler and Stephanie Boucher, and swear in Kevin O'Brien and Karen McHale on their second terms. At this time, prior to swearing in our new elected officials, I just want to say a couple quick things. Prior to Alderman Bessesi, if you'd like to come up and say a few words,
Yeah, I got a few words.
want to say I've been with the city for a year and a half, and I've had the pleasure of working with Alderman Bessesi through this period of time. He was part of the initial hiring committee, and certainly scared me when I was interviewing, and I couldn't tell whether he liked me or not, and was extremely stoic through the process. But certainly, I'm thankful for the opportunity to serve as city manager here. There's one thing that I dream about, and this voice just repeats in my head day after day, and I'll never forget it, but the Chipper program is certainly something I will certainly have engraved in my head forever and ever. So, John, thank you. Thanks to your family for giving us all the time. Serving as an alderman is truly a labor of love. It is a 24/7 lifestyle position. It's not something that once you leave the dais and go home, you leave with you. And so I know you've made a lot of sacrifice to be here, to serve, and to help our community to continue to advance. And on behalf of the City of Rolling Meadows City staff, I'd like to present to you a street sign, which is a token of our appreciation for all that you've done in your role as alderman. Happy to pass the mic to you for any words you'd like to say.
Thank you. I did prepare a couple of words. I wanted to make sure I was thanking the people that I wanted to. First, I would like to thank the residents of the Fifth Ward for the honor of serving you as your representative on this council. I also would like to thank the mayor and the council for the leadership they displayed over the last 4 years. 4 years ago, I decided to run for alderman. In addition to a desire to serve the people of the Fifth Ward, I ran for 3 main reasons. One, I had a concern regarding the impact of taxes and fees on residents within our community. Our taxes have generally been pretty good. Council has held them down fairly well, but it was an exemplary job, especially through COVID and everything. So I would really like to commend the council and the staff for their work in making that possible. The other one was I wanted to make sure that the services we all enjoy that make Rolling Meadows unique, our outstanding public works department. We're known for our snow removal. You know, you go from one town into Rolling Meadows, you can tell. As soon as you cross the border, you can tell. You could tell on Wilkie or Weber Road when half the road is one way and the other half's the other. So I wanted to make sure that we kept that in. And I was hoping, although it was not economically feasible during my term, to bring back the chipper program. Because that was something that I felt not only helped our community, but kind of helped bring our community together. It was kind of a day or a weekend during the year that everybody could pitch in together and help beautify our neighborhoods and while helping the trees and everything at the same time. And then lastly, there was some contentious type council meetings the year prior to me being elected, and it was just it kind of felt it was not the best look. But primarily it was for serving the residents and trying to preserve everything that makes Rolling Meadows special. It was a fast 4 years. Thinking back on the 4 years, there's a lot that was accomplished, from issues ranging from chickens. That's my first vote was whether or not we were going to allow chickens. There was the litigation, which wasn't fun, and then down to the TAT for CAT, the catalytic converter program, which from what I understand, very successful, filled up right away. Hopefully that'll be done again in the near future. And based on conversations with the chief, I believe it is going to be scheduled again at some point. I have a lot of other prepared words here, but I'm not going to say them all. I just want to once again say how the council handled COVID. As far as some of the highlights, just what we did with COVID, and how the leadership of this community, came together and served the residents during that period. I was blessed to be the liaison for the Rolling Meadows Library. Met a lot of very dedicated, diligent public volunteers in that organization. And I was actually, one of the things that surprised me the most is the first time I went, they were doing the budget, and they actually lowered everyone's taxes by 1.5%. So they have a really good group of people that are really watching the bottom line and the services. They're also very progressive in bringing a lot of new things to the community. Serving on the hiring committee, regardless of how we got there, it was an outstanding hire. So I hope you stay for a long time, and our citizens are good. But probably the number one thing is through the work of the mayor, the council, the new staff leadership, a culture of continuous improvement is being established. This is leading to cost savings and better service for the businesses and residents in our community. I think the council is all queued up right now and very eager to get at it. I know Mayor-elect is very eager to get at it, and they're going to do an outstanding job for our community. So I think we're all lucky to have them. In closing, I once again want to commend the work of the council and staff over the last 4 years. Thank the residents in Ward 5 for electing me as their representative. Can't forget to thank the boss, my wife, and my children. Really, I think the foundation is set for the future. The residents of the community will benefit greatly by the work that has been done and continues to be done. I wish everyone well, and the city will always be in my heart. Thank you.
And Mayor Joe Gale?
It's you and me, Rob.
It is. This is how it started. I shook your hand the first time I met you.
That's right.
Certainly, I will say that I know that this is not goodbye. And for the last year and a half, Joe and I had the opportunity to spend every Wednesday at 3 p.m. together. And we always had this idea that it would be an efficient, quick meeting, but there was just so many things that both of us had a lot of passion to talk about: innovation and growth and fiscal stability, and making sure that we absolutely can take the very best care of this community. When I joined the organization. As mayor, you had set the tone right off the bat on what your expectations were for innovation and finding unique ways to provide services to our community in the most cost-effective manner. And certainly I know that that legacy will continue on both with myself and our staff team here. I want to quickly say thank you, and I'm sorry to your family for bothering you on many nights and weekends, because certainly it's my responsibility to make sure the mayor is aware anytime there's some time-sensitive issue, and it always happens on a holiday or in the middle of the evening. So for all those nights, weekends, and all of the efforts, thank you on behalf of the city staff. Certainly, you know where to find us, so if you have anything you need, don't hesitate to reach out anytime. And honorary, we'd like to present to you the Galloway.
I'll cherish it forever, Rob. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. It really means a lot to me. Manager Sabo shared some things, some thoughts, and there was sentiment shared that I heard within Alderman Bessetsi's remarks. And I think you'll hear some of those remarks with me. Now, I hope the microphone's picking it up, but if not, you guys can hear it. I hope that's good enough. I wrestled with the thought or the idea of sharing a couple closing remarks, and it was tough because a couple of reasons. I don't like being up in front of people, don't like being the center of attention, and I'm not really good on verbose statements or speeches, which is kind of ironic for the role that I had to play in. But coming to grips with it all, I just want to start by saying that it's been an absolute privilege to represent the residents within the city of Rolling Meadows. Thank you to, of course, the city council for your teamwork and staff, for your collaborative spirit. We couldn't have accomplished half of what we did if we didn't have that teamwork implemented and that culture of teamwork embedded in our desires and our ideals. All gratitude goes to the residents who put their faith in me and trusting that as a mayor, I would lead the city towards some of the changes that I had envisioned. And it's no secret that my arrival was contentious, but I can walk away now proud knowing that I delivered on many of the promises regarding reform and those changes translating to progress. Anytime you disrupt the current order of things, you're bound to make waves. And there were no shortage of waves. Keep trying to look for Alderman Bessetti, but I don't see her anymore. Well, back there, by the cake. Nice. And I know that was a significant reason why Alderman Bessetti wanted to get involved in the city council, is he didn't appreciate, as did many residents, not appreciate the tumult that was occurring within City Hall. And so I'm happy to say that when I look at the council I entered to the one that I'm leaving, there's a big difference in the way that this council works together, in the way we come to conclusions, in the way we compromise with where we need to go and where we want to be. Throughout this term and those compromises, there have been a number of firsts that have occurred. Alderman Bessetti touched on one of them, but I'll get to it in a little bit. But being the first mayor to be elected under 40, that was a big change, a change in perspective, a change in the essence of the role and what I wanted to bring out for the city. At the time I was elected, the median age in the city of Rolling Meadows was 38, and I felt we needed to embrace that median age and strive for their ideals, but not forget or disregard any other community or pocket of the community that need to be incorporated. Shortly into the term, I was faced with the first challenge to lead the city through a global pandemic, which wasn't ideal for anybody, but we did it. And because of my age and because of the support that I had with the council, we were able to pivot easily and quickly into leveraging technology to maintain continuity of operations and host our city council meetings in a virtual environment and not skip a beat. And I think that speaks volumes for us as a council and as a city. More important than pandemics or being under 40 when being elected, I had the privilege of witnessing for the first time here in the city a majority female-led city council in terms of voting members. And that's big. That's really big, and I'm proud of that. I had the honor to appoint 2 of the women who were then later elected by their residents to represent the city. And a third of the 4 women I had the ability to speak passionately with, and they were able to convey their passions, and they're a tremendous asset to the city of Rolling Meadows and to representing their ward. I don't know what other mayor can say that they've taken part in seeing 5 of the 6 executive level roles in the city be replaced, from a city manager to an assistant city manager to a new finance director, a director of public works, a series of fire chiefs, with Chief Sutter hopefully being here for at least another 6 years, right now the term that I just spent, and then keeping a grip on our good police chief here. But I believe that through all of these changes, through all of the interactions and encounters, that some portion of my involvement or my actions have helped pave the way to bring better things to this city. And I know that we get to see our first female mayor successing my role. She's also going to be the youngest mayor to represent the city of Rolling Meadows. And I believe that there is value in her perspective in that. I believe her skill sets are going to be strong for this city. And I believe the council she has to support her are going to be fundamental in bringing the many opportunities that await us here and be within our reach. And so with that, I wish you all the best of luck as you keep going, keep doing what you do. We've got a great staff that works with our mayor, and she'll work tirelessly. And I know Manager Sabo doesn't tire quickly, so there will be a lot of that going on. I want to thank my family, my extended family, my mom, my dad, my brothers and sisters-in-laws. Their support was instrumental for me throughout the 6 years. But ultimately, I need to thank my wife and my children. So my wife, Danielle, is the unsung hero in all of this. She kept me grounded. She was my compass. And she was definitely the voice of diplomacy when I didn't want to bite my tongue. So I thank her for that. My 2 boys, they were 5 and 3 when I first got involved in local city government. They're now 11 and 9. And throughout that entire time, they couldn't just be kids in the neighborhood. They were either the boys of the 4th Ward or they were the mayor's boys. And so they had to mind their P's and Q's. And I'm looking forward to them just being able to be kids in the neighborhood and looking to spend more time with them. It doesn't give them an excuse to step out of line, but you can just be kids. And with that, I'm looking forward to the next chapter, so thank you. I think we can't keep the city waiting any longer. I'm anxious to do this. I want to see our newest mayor take her seat here. So if you come join me, maybe we can have the deputy clerk join us as well. She's going to stand actually behind us.
Okay.
So I've learned in 6 years how to choreograph these things a little bit better. So this will be a little bit extra for photos and for family. And so if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Lara Sonoika,
I, Lara Sonoika,
having been elected to the office of mayor
having been elected to the office of mayor
in the city of Rolling Meadows,
in the city of Rolling Meadows,
county of Cook,
county of Cook,
state of Illinois,
state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the state of
the
Illinois,
Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and all the laws and ordinances of the city of Rolling Meadows.
and all of the laws and ordinances of the city of Rolling Meadows.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of mayor to the best of my ability.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of mayor to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations, mayors and You you want the mic, you're more than welcome to have it. If you want to say a few words,
Oh,
then we can
goodness.
break for cake, and then you can get on with your show.
I have so many words, but we have 4 years to listen to me. Right now, it's cake time. Thanks, everyone, for coming.
John, if you want, you can come up and take some photos. I know my family and I are going to take some photos, so we can do that now. And for the newly elected, there will be time after the swearing in for those photos as well, correct?
Yep. Going to continue with our new meeting, and we will begin with, one moment, finished pending. Okay, so calling this meeting to order at 8:18 p.m. Will the clerk please call the roll?
McHale.
Here.
Bud Matts is absent. O'Brien.
Here.
Veneziano.
Here.
Reyes.
Here.
Oh, Boucher. Sorry.
Excellent. And at this time, there are, we didn't catch that, hold on. We have a couple of other swearing-ins to do. So we've got one, we've got two, we've got 3, 4, 5 present, and 0 absent. Excellent. So there is,
One absent.
and 1 absent. There is a quorum. Therefore, members of the audience are reminded that these proceedings are being videotaped for current and future broadcast over the city's cable television channel. The first item that we will be conducting now is the appointment of the 7th Ward Alderperson, Dr. Michael Kohler. Oh, and we have to swear in all of the 7 individuals first. My bad. We will be doing all of the swearing-ins. So first, we will start in cardinal order with the 1st Ward Alderperson, Karen McHale. We'll go to the front. Sorry for that false start. One more second.
Sing it.
Okay. So raise your right hand, please, and then you repeat after me.
Yes.
I, Karen McHale.
I, Karen McHale,
Having been elected to the office of Ward 1 Alderperson
having been elected to the office of Ward 1 Alderperson
in the city of Rolling Meadows,
in the city of Rolling Meadows,
County of Cook,
County of Cook,
and State of Illinois,
and state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and all of the laws and ordinances of the city of Rolling Meadows.
and all of the laws and ordinances of the city of Rolling Meadows.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Ward 1 Alderperson
as in the office as Ward 1 Alderperson
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. And we will have plenty of time for pictures as well. We will now swear in the alderperson of the 3rd Ward, Kevin O'Brien. So you're going to raise your right hand. I, Kevin O'Brien,
I, Kevin O'Brien,
having been elected to the office of Ward 3 alderperson
having been elected to the office of 3rd Ward Alderperson
in the city of Rolling Meadows,
in the city of Rolling Meadows,
County of Cook,
County of Cook,
and state of Illinois,
and state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and all of the laws and ordinances of the city of Rolling Meadows.
and all the laws and ordinances of the city of Rolling Meadows.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Ward 3 alderperson
of the office of Ward 3 Alderperson
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Stephanie Boucher. I, Stephanie Boucher,
I, Stephanie Boucher,
having been elected to the office of Ward 5 alderperson
being elected to the office of Ward 5 Alderperson
in the city of Rolling Meadows,
in the city of Rolling Meadows,
in the state of Illinois,
in the state of Illinois,
county of Cook,
county of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and all of the laws and ordinances of the city of Rolling Meadows.
and all the laws and ordinances of the city of Rolling Meadows.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Ward 5 alderperson
of the office of Ward 5 Alderperson
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
We'll be back for pictures. Okay. Testing that we have the mic here. Thank you. So at this point, do we need a roll call?
Yeah.
We need a roll call?
No, not a roll call, but we need a motion and a second.
Motion and second to appoint?
No.
Okay. So there is now at last the appointment for the new Ward 7 alderperson, and we need a motion for that appointment.
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the first,
Second?
and thank you for the second, Alderman McHale. Is there any discussion about the appointment? Okay, and then with that, we will then appoint Dr. Michael Kohler to the Ward 7 alderperson seat. We'll come up to the front. We need a roll call vote. One moment. And a roll call vote.
McHale.
Here, yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
With 5 in favor and none opposed, the appointment goes through. At last, now we can do our swearing in. It's for real this time.
I, Michael Kohler,
Having been appointed to the office of Ward 7 alderperson
having been appointed to the office of Ward 7 alderperson
in the city of Rolling Meadows,
in the city of Rolling Meadows,
county of Cook,
county of Cook,
and state of Illinois,
and state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and all of the laws and ordinances of the city of Rolling Meadows.
and all the laws and ordinances of the city of Rolling Meadows.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Ward 7 alderperson
the office of Ward 7 alderperson
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. With that, I'm looking for a motion to open the floor for pictures for all of our newly elected aldermen.
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the first.
Second.
And whoa, nice. Alderman Veneziano for the second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, and the floor is now open for pictures. It's been so long since I've seen you. It's freezing. So, quick question for this. Do we need to also, there's no secretary, so there's.
I'll be telling you about 10 minutes there. It's too hot. Don't worry.
Don't listen to Kevin.
All right, folks, I think we are all set for pomp and circumstance. Thanks again, everyone, for being here and to witness the new council as we proceed with our consent ordinances because there are no signatories on the public sign-in sheet. So with that, the next item on the agenda in for first reading are our consent ordinances. It consists of 6 items, items A through F. We will also pull items A, B, and C as staff is requesting waiver of first reading. Does any alderperson wish to remove any other item from the consent agenda for ordinances? Okay, seeing none, the chair declares it in order for one motion to consider the remaining 3 ordinances in one motion without debate. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman McKeel, for the first.
Second?
And thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the second. The first of the 3 remaining items are item D, ordinance number 23-00 to approve a liquor license application for a Class A2 liquor license for Casa de Luigi LLC, located at 5500 New Wilkie Road, in for first reading. Item E, ordinance number 23-00, approve an ordinance modifying the city's zoning ordinance concerning monument sign base requirements for certain uses in certain districts, in for first reading. And item F, ordinance number 23-00 to amend chapter 114, vegetation of the City of Rolling Meadows Code of Ordinances to adopt and amend the ordinance with tree preservation guidelines, in for first reading. The question is, shall the ordinances be moved for second reading? Will the clerk please call the roll?
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, these ordinances will be moved forward for second reading. And now to return to, so staff is asking for a waiver of the first reading for item A to the ordinance to be approved immediately. Is there an alderperson willing to make this motion to waive the first reading of the ordinance?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the first.
Second.
And thank you, Alderman McHale, for the second. Is there any discussion on the motion to waive first reading of ordinance, of item A? Okay, and this ordinance is ordinance number 23-24 to designate representatives to the Northwest Suburban Municipal Joint Action Water Agency, NSM JAWA, for the City of Rolling Meadows. Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be moved forward for final approval? Is there any discussion on the motion to waive first reading? Okay. Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be moved forward for final approval? Will the clerk please call the roll?
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance moves forward for final approval. And now this ordinance is back for final approval. Is there a motion to approve the same ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the first.
Second.
Ooh, and thank you, Alderman Reyes, for the second. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is adopted. Staff is asking for waiver of the first reading for item B, so the ordinance can be approved immediately. Is there an alderperson willing to make this motion for waiving the first reading of this ordinance?
So moved, Mrs. Mayor.
Oh, thank you, Alderman Veneziano, for the first.
Second?
And thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the second. This ordinance, Ordinance B, number 23-25, to approve an ordinance modifying the city's zoning ordinance concerning temporary certificates of occupancy. Is there any discussion on the motion to waive first reading?
Right here.
Yes.
Just really quick with staff, I know that it's been a while since we've made this from Alderman Budmatz, particularly on requesting these first waiver of readings, that it's always been a concern of us that we're not doing our due diligence with allowing the whole process to waive out. So let's just be cautious that we're not doing too many of these waiving of first readings, because then we tend to get in this cycle. So let's be proactive, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay. Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be moved forward for final approval? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Boucher.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance moves forward for final approval and then is now back again before us. Is there a motion to approve this same ordinance?
So moved.
Alderman Boucher for the first and Alderman McHale for the second. Is there any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reyes.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is adopted. And lastly, staff is requesting the waiver of first reading for item C so the ordinance can be adopted immediately. Is there an alderperson willing to make this motion for waiving the first reading of ordinance, item C, ordinance number 23-26, to approve an ordinance modifying the city's zoning ordinance concerning hearing and notice requirements?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Veneziano, for the first.
Second?
Thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the second. Is there any discussion on the motion to waive first reading? Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be moved forward for final approval? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance moves forward for final approval. And then coming back to us, since that passed, is there a motion to approve that same ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman McHale, for the first.
Second.
And thank you, Alderman Veneziano, for the second. Any discussion on this third and final item that has been waived? Okay. Seeing none, the question is, shall this ordinance be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
McHale.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is adopted. The next item on the agenda are the consent resolutions. It consists of 7 items, including items G through M. Does any alderperson wish to remove any items from the consent agenda for resolutions? Okay, seeing none, the chair declares it in order for one motion to consider these 7 resolutions in one motion without debate. Is there such a motion?
So moved?
Thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the first.
Second.
And thank you, Alderman McHale, for the second. With that, will the clerk please call the roll? Oh, I'm sorry, I need to read them all. Okay, item G, resolution number 23-R-68 to appoint city representatives to the Northwest Municipal Conference, NWMC. Item H, resolution number 23-R-69 to appoint a director and alternate directors as city representative to the Solid Waste Agency of Northern Cook County, SWANC. Item I, resolution number 23-R-70 to approve the National League of Cities voting and alternate voting delegate appointment. Item J, resolution number 23-R-71 to authorize a contract for the purchase of a 2023 Ford F-550 dump truck, replacement of RM259/2322 2008 Ford F-550 in an amount of $134,589. Item K, resolution number 23-R-72 to authorize the award of contract for fiscal year 2023 street maintenance annual pavement restorative seal application PRA with corrective asphalt materials CAM in a not to exceed amount of $58,787.04. Item L, resolution number 23-R-73 to approve a waiver of building permit fees for Wings Program Incorporated 5104 Tollview Drive. Item M, resolution number 23-R-74 to award a contract for 3 sanitary sewer point repairs in accordance with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, MWRD, in an amount of $132,222 to Archon Construction Co. Incorporated. The question is, shall the resolutions be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, the resolutions are adopted. And now that brings us to other businesses and reports. And I have a proclamation. And I have a proclamation. One.
Didn't print it out.
I do have two proclamations. Yes, here we are. And my very first one is for Arbor Day, which we will begin here. I had the pleasure of being invited to the Willow Bend Elementary School for their Arbor Day celebration on that day, and it was an excellent event with staff where we were able to plant about 4 trees and also work with the Rolling Meadows Environmental Committee. So today, the proclamation for Arbor Day, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas 2023 is the 151st anniversary of the holiday, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas the City of Rolling Meadows has been recognized as a Tree City USA for the 29th year by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now, therefore, I, Lara Sonoyka, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the City of Rolling Meadows, Illinois, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 28th, 2023, Arbor Day in the City of Rolling Meadows, dated at Rolling Meadows, Illinois, this 9th day of May, 2023. We have one additional proclamation, and this is for Public Works Week for May 21st to the 27th. And so with that, whereas Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, emergency management, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities, and the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the City of Rolling Meadows. And whereas these infrastructures, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of Public Works professionals who are federally mandated first responders, and the engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the City of Rolling Meadows to gain knowledge and maintain ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of Public Works first responders and Public Works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2023 marks the 63rd annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association and Canadian Public Works Association, be it now, therefore, be resolved that I, Lara Sonoyka, Mayor, do hereby designate the week May 21st through the 27th, 2023 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designated to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. Given under my hand in the seal of the City of Rolling Meadows, Illinois, this 9th day of May, 2023. Congratulations. And with that, are there any clerk reports?
No, not tonight.
Okay. This brings us to city staff reports. And our first is regarding the community items of interest, which I will defer to City Manager Rob Sabo.
Thank you, Mayor Sonoyka, City Council. The Police Department's Family Services Day event will be held this Saturday, May 13th at 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. at 2260 Algonquin Parkway in Rolling Meadows. Visitors will be treated to a free barbecue with the Police Department while supplies last, entertainment, games, music, and face painting. Thank you to Meyer and the Rolling Meadows Park District for assisting to make this event possible. For more information, please contact Social Services Manager Natalia Nieves at 847-870-2636. The 18th annual Taking Care of Business Luncheon, also known as the State of the City Luncheon, will take place on Wednesday, May 17th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Hosted by the City and the Rolling Meadows Chamber of Commerce, this event offers expanded opportunities for all city businesses and area residents to learn more about the city's economic development initiatives with a keynote presentation by Mayor Sonoyka. The lunch will take place at Meridian Banquets and costs between $25 to $35 for chamber members and $50 for non-members. To register, please visit rmchamber.org or call 847-398-3730. On May 19th, from 5:30 to 11 a.m., that's 5:30 a.m. to 11 a.m., the Rolling Meadows Police Department will be participating in the 20th anniversary Cop on a Rooftop. This event is sponsored by the Special Olympics of Illinois and the Dunkin' Donuts located at 3350 Kirchhoff Road here in Rolling Meadows, who have so kindly agreed to host once again. The police will be selling T-shirts, raffle tickets, and mugs, with all proceeds going to help the athletes of the Special Olympics. Cash, checks, or Zelle will be accepted. This is a fun event and supports a great cause. Join the city as it honors our heroes at the Memorial Day Parade and Ceremony on Saturday, May 27th at 11 a.m., with the ceremony immediately following at the Caroline Monument on Kirchhoff Road. Veterans and their families are invited to participate in the parade, whether on foot or in a trolley. Interested veteran organizations are welcome to attend as well. Please contact Assistant to the City Manager, Lori Cezak, at 847-870-9005 if you would like to be included. Lastly, one quick note related to the Ward 1 resurfacing project. That pre-construction meeting will be held tomorrow, Wednesday, May 10th at 5:30 p.m. Outdoors on Old Mill Lane. Again, that's at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. And I know Public Works Director Groskopf has organized some great weather for that event. So certainly, again, 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, May 10th on Old Mill Lane. That's all for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, City Manager Sabo. And now we'll turn to the April 2023 new business report, which we will defer to Business Development, Martha Corner.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm happy to report we have 5 new businesses recorded for the month of April. Among them is a new dental office in Rolling Meadows Shopping Center located at 3218 Kirchhoff Road. 32 Dental for you. Thank you.
Thank you. And that will bring us to the May 16th, 2023 Committee of the Whole draft agenda, which will return to City Manager Rob Sabo.
Thank you. The draft agenda is included in the agenda packet this evening and will be posted in accordance with the Open Meetings Act prior to the May 16th Committee of the Whole meeting. Quick highlight of the items include a presentation of the Business Development Strategic Plan Work Plan. This is an initiative that will run through the course of this year and involves a number of different touch points, both with the business community as well as our residents, to create the city's first ever Business Development Strategic Plan. Additionally, we'll have a conversation about comprehensive and sub-area planning related to the Kirchhoff Road Business Corridor, as well as the Northwest Commercial Corridor here in town, and that is intended to talk about what kind of vision and uses do we want to see within these two different business corridors as we evolve and anticipate new development in our area. Additionally, we have a discussion on the former Fire Station 15 at 3111 Meadow Drive, as well as next steps on how we proceed with that property. And lastly, seeking council input and direction related to a recommendation on a rebranding initiative. So 4 items for that evening. We'll try to keep it not too long on the staff presentations, but again, this will be posted in accordance with the Open Meetings Act prior to May 16th.
Thank you so much, City Manager Sabo. And can you also please lead us in the May 23rd, 2023 City Council draft agenda?
Yes, thank you. The draft is also included in the packet. Quick item of note, we will have a presentation of the Gold Water Ambassador Certification Program, which is, once again, the city has been awarded that certification and recognition of the city's high-quality work related to providing potable drinking water for our community. Additionally, on the agenda are the second readings of items approved this evening on first read. A few additional consent resolutions of note include the approval of the purchase of a generator and rejection of previous bids, as well as approval of electric charging equipment for electric vehicles outside of City Hall in the parking lot.
Thank you so much. That now leaves us to matters that are not on the agenda. Are there any matters that any alderperson would like to bring up? Yes, Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mayor Sonoyka. I'll be brief on this, and I probably should have done it at the ward reports, but it slipped down to here. Just 2 real quick things is, first of all, I want to thank the residents that reach out, and then Manager Sabo and staff. Over the weekend, I had a handful of residents reach out to me regarding
what looks to be a salt storage shed behind the Jewel commercial lot by Kimball Hill. As I let for the residents that might be listening in there, the ones that reach out to me, I let them know it was nothing council approved, nothing came before city staff, council staff. So Rob and the staff are checking into that right away with the commercial market or the commercial property owners. So more updates to come on that. But thank you for those that reached out. We are addressing that, and we'll circle back with more updates. And then hot off the press, I actually had a note from a resident earlier today that they noticed it before I did. Again, thanks to Public Works Director Aaron and staff. We had an intersection at Oriole and George Street that a few years ago, based on resident feedback and it being a thoroughfare to go across Kirchhoff to Carl Sandburg and the rotation for Kimball Hill, is we had a two-way stop sign put in. There was some concern about that, as regrettably not everybody was paying attention to the two-way stop, so there was a lot of honking at school days early in the morning. So staff quickly put up a sign that says cross traffic does not stop, to hopefully cut down on some of those issues. So quick updates for the third ward. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other items? Okay, then with that, we do have an item here for closed session on the agenda, and I would like to entertain a motion to go into closed session under Section 2C2 of the Open Meetings Act regarding union negotiations. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman McKeel, for the first.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Reyes, for the second. Is there any discussion about going into closed session? Okay, with that, will the clerk please call the roll?
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Reyes.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, we will now enter into closed session. The audience and press are advised that we do not anticipate taking any action upon returning to open session. Thank you.